Be me, Dawson, 25, living in Philadelphia, grinding through a graduate degree in history, living off terrible coffee and sheer panic. My best friend is Micah. We met freshman year in the dorms. He is a deeply oblivious but incredibly loyal guy, the kind of guy who will help you move a couch at 3 a.m., but will also forget his own birthday. He works in restaurant equipment distribution, selling industrial deep fryers to diners. He moved into a new place a few weeks ago, a cramped 2-bedroom in a decent neighborhood. He has been dating a girl named Linnea for 6 months. I have never met her. Our schedules never lined up. He talks about her constantly. She makes amazing baked ziti. She loves rescuing stray cats. She hikes on the weekends. He sounds completely gone over this girl. I am genuinely happy for him. He invites me to his housewarming party, says I can crash on the terrible brown corduroy couch. I drive over in my rattling Subaru Outback, park 3 blocks away because parking is a nightmare. It is raining lightly. I am wearing a damp gray hoodie. I walk up the steps to his apartment. Music is thumping through the thin walls. I push the door open. The place is packed. Smells like cheap beer and pine sol. There is a giant pile of wet jackets on the bed in the guest room. I toss my hoodie onto the pile, grab a slightly warm beer from a plastic cooler in the kitchen, say hi to a few guys we knew from college. Raul from our old intramural soccer team is there. He is arguing with someone about baseball. I lean against the counter, just trying to settle into the noise. That is when Micah spots me. He is holding a pair of plastic tongs for no reason. He shoves through the crowd, grabs my shoulder, and shakes me. Dude, you made it. I smile and clink my can against his tongs. Would not miss it, man. He leans in close because the music is loud. You have to meet Linnea. She is dying to meet you. I tell him to lead the way. We push through the living room. I almost trip over a rogue Tupperware container on the rug. Micah points toward the window. There she is. She is talking to a girl with bright green hair. She has light brown hair tied up in a messy bun, wearing a simple oversized cream sweater. She is laughing at something. She looks completely normal. She looks completely familiar. The air in the room suddenly feels extremely heavy, like breathing underwater. My chest tightens. Micah taps her on the arm. Hey Linnea, this is Dawson, the guy I told you about. She turns around. She looks at my face. For one single solitary second, the bottom drops out of her expression. Her eyes go wide. Her mouth opens slightly. It is absolute raw panic. I recognize her instantly. My brain just starts screaming. It is Heidi. 3 years ago, I went on a miserable camping trip. I was completely heartbroken over my ex. A mutual friend dragged me out to the woods. Heidi was there. She had dark black hair then. She wore thick black glasses. She was quiet and guarded. We ended up sitting by the fire at 2 in the morning. Everyone else was asleep in their tents. We drank cheap whiskey out of tin mugs. We talked for hours about how messy our lives were. She told me about her awful relationship with her dad. I told her I felt like a massive failure. We ended up kissing in the dark. It was desperate and sad and intensely real. We spent the night in my tent. The next morning was agonizingly awkward. She packed her duffel bag in complete silence, would not even look at me. She left the campsite early. I never got her number. I never saw her again. And now she is standing in Micah's living room, holding a plastic cup of wine, calling herself Linnea. The panic vanishes from her face. It is replaced by a terrifyingly blank smile. She holds out her hand. Oh my God, hi. Micah talks about you all the time. Her voice is pitched up half an octave. She sounds completely cheerful. I stare at her hand like it is a snake. I force myself to reach out and shake it. Her fingers are freezing cold. She squeezes my hand entirely too hard. Nice to meet you, I say. My voice sounds like it is coming from another room. Micah is beaming. He has absolutely no idea. He is just standing there swaying slightly. I am going to go grab us some shots, Micah says. He claps me on the back and vanishes into the kitchen, leaving us alone by the window. The silence between us is deafening. Someone behind me laughs really loud. She takes a slow sip of her wine. She does not break eye contact, so she says, "You are doing a master's in history." I stare at her. The audacity is actually making me dizzy. Yeah, I say. History. That is so cool, she says. She nods like we are making casual small talk. She is fully committing to the bit. I cannot believe what is happening. So Linnea, I say. I put a lot of weight on the name. Do you like the outdoors? Ever go camping? Her jaw tightens. Just a fraction of an inch? No, she says. I hate the woods. Too many bugs. I lean in a little closer. Funny, I say. You look like someone who knows how to pitch a tent. She glares at me. It is a sharp, angry look. I do not know what you mean, she says. Micah comes back with 3 terrible tequila shots. Hands them out. To new friends, he yells. Linnea smiles brightly and clinks her glass against mine. She downs it without wincing. The rest of the night is a waking nightmare. I am stuck in the corner of the couch, watching her play the perfect girlfriend. She rubs Micah's back. She laughs at his terrible jokes. She brings out a tray of miniature hot dogs, but every time he looks away, she stares at me. It is not a friendly look. Around midnight, Micah goes downstairs to help someone carry a cooler. Linnea is in the kitchen, wiping down the counter with a paper towel. I walk in and stand across the island from her. Heidi, I say. My voice is quiet. She keeps wiping the counter. The paper towel is tearing into shreds. My name is Linnea, she says. She does not look up. Stop it, I say. 3 years ago, the state park. Brent and Celine's trip. We drank whiskey out of those stupid green mugs. She stops wiping. She throws the crumpled paper towel into the sink. She looks at me and her eyes are totally glassy. That was a long time ago, she whispers. I do not know what you are talking about. You are really going to lie to me, I ask. I am in love with Micah, she says. Her voice shakes a little. I have a life here. That weekend was a mistake. It was 2 sad strangers making a mess. It never happened. I stare at her. So I am just supposed to pretend, I ask. Yes, she says. Her voice is fierce now. You are going to pretend. If you care about him at all, you will keep your mouth shut. She turns and walks out of the kitchen. I leave 20 minutes later. I tell Micah I have a massive headache. He looks disappointed but walks me to the door. Linnea waves at me from the hallway. It was so great meeting you, Dawson, she says. Her voice is sickeningly sweet. I sleep in my clothes on the brown corduroy couch. I stare at the ceiling until the sun comes up. My phone buzzes at 6 in the morning. I pull it out of my pocket. Unknown number. Text message reads, "Please let this go, Dawson. Do not ruin this for him. Do not ruin this for me. Linnea." I drop the phone on the floor. I wait for Micah to wake up. We go to a terrible diner down the street. I order eggs and push them around my plate. Micah is hungover and happy. So what did you think of her, he asks. He is pouring a massive amount of syrup on his pancakes. She is great, man, I say. The words taste like ash in my mouth. Yeah, she really liked you, he says. Said you were super easy to talk to. I grip my coffee mug so hard my knuckles turn white. I drive back to my apartment. I spend the next 3 weeks avoiding Micah. I ignore his texts. I blame it on midterms. I bury myself in library archives reading about the Gilded Age. I just want to forget it. I want the problem to magically disappear. It does not disappear. Thursday afternoon, my phone rings. It is Micah. He sounds incredibly stressed. Dude, I need a massive favor, he says. What is wrong, I ask. Linnea's landlord is raising her rent by a crazy amount. She cannot afford it. We decided she is going to move in with me. I blink at the dusty library window. Already, I ask. It has only been 6 months. I know, he says, but it makes sense, man. We spend every night together anyway. Here is the problem. I threw my back out lifting a freezer at work yesterday. I am wearing a brace. I cannot lift anything heavy. She has to be out of her place by Sunday. Micah, please. I need you to help us move her stuff. I close my eyes. I press the heels of my hands into my forehead. I cannot do this. I have a huge paper due. I lie. Man, please, Micah begs. I will buy you a ridiculous amount of pizza. I will pay for your gas. She literally only has a few boxes and a mattress. I cannot let her do it alone. I hear the panic in his voice. He is my best friend. He has helped me out of so many jams. Fine, I say. I will be there Saturday morning. I hang up and slam my head onto the desk. Saturday morning, it is pouring rain again. I drive to a rusty equipment rental lot. We are renting a white Ford Transit van. I walk into the terrible fluorescent-lit office. Micah is sitting in a plastic chair holding his lower back. Linnea is standing at the counter. She is wearing a yellow raincoat and holding a clipboard. She looks over her shoulder and sees me. Her face freezes completely. "Hi, Dawson," she says. She sounds like she is speaking through clenched teeth. "Hey, Linnea," I say. Micah groans and tries to stand up. "You are a lifesaver, man," he says. The guy behind the counter is chewing a plastic stirrer. "I need both driver's licenses," the guy says. Linnea slaps hers onto the counter. I pull mine out of my wallet and slide it over. The guy looks at them. "All right, Dawson. And Linnea," he says. "Sign here and here." I grab the terrible plastic pen attached to a chain. I sign my name. Linnea snatches the pen and signs hers. Our hands brush for a second. She flinches like I burned her. We walk out to the van. Micah cannot climb into the cab because of his back. I will take an Uber to her place, he says. You two take the van and meet me there. Linnea and I both start protesting immediately. No, I can drive it alone, she says. Dude, I will just give you a ride, I say. Nonsense, Micah says. He is already waving down a cab. See you guys there. He gets into a yellow cab and drives away, leaving me and Linnea standing in the rain. Staring at this massive white van, I unlock the doors. We climb in. It smells like wet dog and stale cigarettes. I start the engine. We sit in absolute silence for 10 minutes. The windshield wipers are violently loud. Squeak slam, squeak slam. You are enjoying this, she finally says. She is staring straight out the window, her arms crossed tightly over her chest. Enjoying this, I ask. I hit a pothole way too hard. I would literally rather be anywhere else on earth. Why did you even come, she asks. Because Micah begged me, I say. Because he is my friend. Because he threw his back out for his stupid job. She rubs her temples. Just do not talk to me, she says. Just load the boxes and leave me alone. We get to her apartment. It is on the 3rd floor of a walk-up. The stairwell smells like boiled cabbage. Micah is sitting on a cardboard box in the hallway, looking utterly defeated. I told you to pack the books in smaller boxes, he says to her. She sighs. I am sorry, baby, she says. She kisses the top of his head. It makes my stomach do a weird flip. I walk into her apartment. It is sparse. There are empty grocery bags scattered on the floor. A half-dead fern sits on the windowsill. I start grabbing boxes. I carry them down 3 flights of stairs. My legs are burning. The rain is soaking through my jacket. Linnea is carrying lighter bags down. We pass each other on the stairs over and over. We do not make eye contact. I go back up for the last few things in her bedroom. Micah is in the kitchen trying to pack plates left-handed. I walk into the bedroom. There is a small pile of trash on the floor by the closet, things she is throwing away, an old receipt, a broken phone charger, and a small clear plastic case. It is open. Inside are the thick black glasses, the ones Heidi wore on the camping trip. I freeze. I stare down at them. I hear footsteps behind me. I turn around. Linnea is standing in the doorway. She sees what I am looking at. She walks over quickly. She kicks the glasses into the pile of trash. What are you doing? She hisses. Just grabbing the lamp, I say. I grab the ugly brass lamp off the nightstand. Do not look at my stuff, she says. Her face is flushed red. I am not looking at your stuff, I say. I am trying to get this over with. I brush past her. We finish loading the van. We drive to Micah's place. Unload everything. My back is absolutely killing me. We are standing in his living room, surrounded by boxes. Micah is ordering food on his phone. My mom is in town, he announces suddenly. Linnea drops a roll of packing tape. What she says, yeah, she called while we were moving, Micah says. She wants to take us all out to dinner tonight, to celebrate us moving in together. Linnea looks terrified. Tonight, she asks, but we are covered in dirt. I am exhausted. Micah shrugs. You know how she is. She made a reservation at that fancy Italian place downtown. And Dawson, she wants you there too. I hold up both hands. No way, I say. I smell like a wet dog. I have a paper to write. Micah looks at me with massive, sad puppy eyes. Dawson, please. You know my mom stresses me out. I need you there as a buffer. You are her favorite. I groan loudly. Linnea is glaring at me. Fine, I say. I will go take a shower and meet you there. I drive home. I take a boiling hot shower. I put on a wrinkled button-down shirt. I drive downtown and pay $20 for a parking garage. I walk into the restaurant. It is extremely loud and crowded. The lighting is dark orange. There is a horrible acoustic guitar player in the corner. Micah and Linnea are sitting at a round booth. Micah's mom, Joanne, is sitting across from them. Joanne is wearing a very loud floral blouse. She has terrifying energy. She waves at me aggressively. Dawson, honey, she yells. I walk over and slide into the booth next to Joanne. This puts me directly across the table from Linnea. Linnea is wearing a nice black dress. She looks exhausted. Hi, Mrs. Davis, I say. Oh, call me Joanne, you know that, she says. She pats my cheek. I am just so thrilled to finally meet Linnea. Micah has not stopped talking about her. Linnea offers a weak smile. Thank you, she says. Joanne immediately launches into an interrogation. So, Linnea dear, Micah tells me you work in dental administration. Linnea nods. Yes, I manage the front desk. And where did you grow up? Joanne asks. She is leaning entirely too far across the table. Linnea shifts uncomfortably. Upstate New York, she says. Small town, you probably never heard of it. Joanne takes a massive gulp of her wine. Try me, she says. Linnea swallows hard. Poughkeepsie, she says. I choke on my water. I cough violently into my napkin. Micah hits me on the back. Dude, you okay? He asks. Yeah, I wheeze. Just went down the wrong pipe. Heidi was from Ohio. She talked about Ohio for 3 hours by the campfire. She talked about her dad's auto shop in Dayton. She is completely lying to his mother. Linnea is staring at me with pure hatred. Joanne frowns. Poughkeepsie is not a small town, she says. It is quite large, actually. Linnea clears her throat. Well, just outside of it, she says. It is very rural. Joanne squints at her. Fascinating, she says. The waiter arrives. We order food. The tension at the table is unbearable. Joanne keeps asking Linnea very specific questions about her family, about her siblings. Linnea gives vague, rehearsed answers. She says her parents passed away. She says she is an only child. I know for a fact Heidi had a younger brother. She talked about him endlessly. I am sweating through my shirt. I feel like I am an accomplice to a bank robbery. The food arrives. Giant plates of pasta. I push a ravioli around my plate. So Dawson, Joanne says suddenly. Micah tells me you have not brought a girl around in ages. Are you seeing anyone? I freeze. No, I say. Just focusing on school right now. Joanne sighs heavily. You work too hard. You need someone to take care of you. Linnea speaks up. Her voice is razor sharp. Maybe Dawson is just picky, she says. Maybe he just uses people and throws them away. The entire table goes dead silent. The acoustic guitar player in the corner hits a wrong chord. Micah stops chewing his garlic bread. He looks between us. What, he says. What does that mean? Linnea's face drops. She realizes she went too far. She tries to backpedal immediately. Nothing, she stammers. I just mean, guys in grad school are usually emotionally unavailable. She lets out a high-pitched, nervous laugh. Joanne stares at her. That was a very strange thing to say, Linnea, she says. Her voice is ice cold. I put my fork down. My hands are shaking. I think I just need to focus on myself right now, I say. I force a smile at Joanne. Linnea grabs her wine glass. Her hand is trembling so hard the glass clinks against her teeth. The rest of the dinner is agonizing. Joanne pays the bill and leaves. She gives Linnea a very stiff hug. Micah is oblivious again. That went great, he says. We walk out to the sidewalk. I have to go grade some papers, I say. I walk away before either of them can say anything. I spend the next month completely buried in schoolwork. I ignore Micah's texts. I ignore his calls. I just want to distance myself from the blast radius. It is late November now. The weather is freezing. I am working as a teaching assistant. I have to go to the main administration building. There is an issue with my stipend. Some paperwork got lost. I walk into the enormous brick building. I shake the snow off my boots. I walk up to the 3rd floor, the financial aid office. I pull open the heavy glass door. I walk up to the front counter. There is a woman sitting behind the glass, typing aggressively on a keyboard. Excuse me, I say. I need to talk to someone about my stipend. The woman turns around. It is Linnea. She is wearing a gray cardigan. She has a name tag that says Linnea. She stares at me. I stare at her. The quiet hum of the radiator fills the silence. What are you doing here? She asks. Her voice is a frantic whisper. She looks around the empty waiting room. What are you doing here? I ask. You work at a dental office. I quit, she says. I got this job 2 weeks ago. The benefits are better. I rub my eyes. I cannot deal with this. I just need my paperwork sorted out, I say. I slide my student ID under the glass slot. She snatches it. She types my name into the computer. She hits the keys way too hard. Your forms are incomplete, she says. You need a signature from your department head. I groan. They told me I could sign it here, I say. Well, they lied, she says. She slides the ID back. She will not look at me. I put the ID in my pocket. Why did you lie about Ohio? I ask. She stops typing. Her hands hover over the keyboard. I did not lie, she says. Yes, you did, I say. You told Joanne you were from Poughkeepsie. You told me 3 years ago you were from Dayton. Why are you doing this? She stands up. She walks out from behind the counter. She grabs my arm and pulls me into the hallway. It is a quiet corridor lined with closed doors. She backs me against the lockers. She looks terrified. You need to stop doing this, she says. Doing what I ask. Remembering things, she hisses. I am not Heidi anymore. Heidi was a disaster. Heidi had $30,000 in medical debt. Heidi had a family that stole money from her. Heidi was miserable. She is breathing hard. I changed my name, she says. I filed for bankruptcy. I moved across the country. I started over. I am Linnea now. I am normal. I am happy. And you are going to ruin it. I stare at her. She is actually crying. Real tears are welling up in her eyes. I do not want to ruin anything I say. My voice is softer now. I just want to understand why you have to pretend. Why you cannot just tell Micah the truth. Because he will leave me, she cries. He thinks I am perfect. He thinks I am this normal girl with a boring past. If he knows how messy I was, if he knows I changed my identity to escape my awful family, he will run away. I shake my head. Micah is the most loyal guy on earth, I say. He would not care. He loves you. She wipes her eyes violently with the sleeve of her cardigan. You do not know that, she says. And what about the other thing? What other thing, I ask. Us, she whispers. She looks at the floor. If he knows we hooked up, if he knows you have been keeping this massive secret, it will destroy him. It will destroy your friendship. I feel a cold knot form in my stomach. She is right. The name change is one thing. The hookup is the bomb. If I tell him I knew her, I have to tell him how I knew her. And if I tell him that, I am the guy who slept with his girlfriend and lied to his face for months. I slide down the locker and sit on the cold tile floor. I put my head in my hands. This is a nightmare, I say. She sits down on the floor next to me. We are just two people sitting in a university hallway, surrounded by bulletin boards. I am sorry, she says quietly. I really am. I did not know he was your friend. When you walked into that party, I thought I was going to pass out. I look at her. She looks exhausted. She looks exactly like she did around the campfire. What do we do, I ask. She pulls her knees to her chest. We take it to our graves, she says. We never talk about the woods again. We are just Linnea and Dawson. I stare at the dirty tile floor. I nod slowly. Okay, I say. Okay, we stand up. I walk away down the hall. I do not get my stipend sorted out. 2 weeks pass. It is mid-December. Micah calls me on a Tuesday night. Dude, we are having a holiday dinner at our place, he says. Just a few close friends. You have to come. Linnea is making a massive roast. I want to say no. I really want to say no. But I know if I keep avoiding them, Micah will get suspicious. Okay, I say. I will be there. Saturday night, I drive to their apartment. It is freezing cold. It is snowing lightly. I am carrying a cheap bottle of red wine in a brown paper bag. I walk up the stairs. I knock on the door. Micah opens it. He is wearing a terrible, ugly Christmas sweater. It has a light-up reindeer on it. Dawson, he yells. He pulls me into a massive hug. He smells like garlic and beer. I walk inside. The apartment actually looks amazing. There are string lights hung up everywhere. A small Christmas tree in the corner. The smell of rosemary and roasting meat fills the air. There are about 8 people there. Raoul is there. A few girls from Linnea's old job. And someone sitting on the couch facing away from the door. Someone with messy blonde hair. The person turns around. My heart completely stops. It is Brent. Brent from the camping trip. Brent who dragged me to the woods 3 years ago. Brent who brought his girlfriend, Celine, who brought her friend Heidi. He stands up. He is holding a beer. He grins massively. Dawson, you son of a gun, he yells. He walks over and claps me on the shoulder. Micah said you might show up. I cannot breathe. My vision goes slightly blurry. Brent, I say. My voice is a croak. What are you doing here? He laughs. I moved to Philly last week, man. Got a new job managing a gym. Ran into Micah at the hardware store. He invited me over. Small world, right? I look past Brent. Linnea is standing in the kitchen doorway. She is holding a metal stirring spoon. Her face is completely white. All the blood has drained from her cheeks. She is staring at Brent. She looks like she is looking at a ghost. Brent has not noticed her yet. He is too busy telling a loud story to Raoul. I walk over to the kitchen. I grab Linnea by the elbow. I pull her into the hallway outside the bathroom. What the hell is he doing here? I hiss. I do not know, she whispers frantically. I did not know Micah knew him. Micah never mentioned him. She is hyperventilating slightly. She drops the metal spoon on the hardwood floor. It makes a loud clattering sound. Dawson, what do I do? She asks. She is grabbing the front of my shirt. He knows me. He knows I am Heidi. He knows everything. I grab her hands. Calm down, I say. Maybe he will not recognize you. You have different hair. You do not wear glasses. Just stay in the kitchen. Just keep your head down. Michael walks out into the hallway. He looks at us. We are standing way too close. She is holding my shirt. Micah stops walking. His smile fades. What is going on? He asks. His voice is totally flat. Linnea lets go of my shirt instantly. She takes a huge step back. Nothing, she says quickly. I just spilled sauce on Dawson's jacket. I am so clumsy. She picks up the spoon and hurries back into the kitchen. Micah stares at me. He is oblivious, but he is not stupid. You okay, man? He asks. He squints at me. Yeah, I say. I wipe my forehead. Just warm in here. Micah nods slowly. He does not look convinced. We go back to the living room. We sit around the coffee table. Linnea brings out massive plates of food. She avoids looking at Brent completely. She serves him from behind his chair. She retreats to the corner of the room. Everyone is eating and drinking. The noise level is loud. Brent is telling a story about his drive from Ohio. Yeah, man. The roads were terrible, he says. He points his fork at Micah. But nothing is worse than that camping trip we took a few years ago. Remember that, Dawson? I freeze with a piece of bread halfway to my mouth. Linnea drops a fork in the kitchen. It clatters loudly. Micah looks at Brent. What camping trip? He asks. Oh, man, Brent says. He is completely oblivious to the tension. Me and Dawson went out to the state park. It poured rain the whole time. Everyone was miserable. He takes a huge bite of potatoes. Micah looks at me. You never told me about that, he says. It was not a big deal, I say quickly. I shove the bread into my mouth. Just a boring weekend. Boring. Brent laughs. Dude, you disappeared into your tent with that girl Heidi. You two were missing until morning. The entire room goes dead silent. The string lights twinkle merrily. The refrigerator hums. Linnea makes a small gasping sound from the kitchen. Micah puts his plate down on the coffee table. He turns his head very slowly. He looks at Brent. What girl? He asks. His voice is terrifyingly calm. Brent swallows hard. He suddenly realizes the vibe in the room has violently shifted. Brent says. Just some girl my ex brought. Heidi something. She was quiet. Wore big glasses. Micah looks at me. I am sweating profusely. My heart is pounding so hard I can hear it in my ears. Is that true? Dawson. Micah asks. I open my mouth. No words come out. I just stare at him. Micah looks back at Brent. What did she look like? He asks. Brent shifts uncomfortably. Dude, it was a long time ago. Micah stands up. He walks into the kitchen. We can all see him through the doorway. He looks at Linnea. She is backed up against the sink. She is gripping the counter edge so hard her fingers are white. Linnea. Micah says. He sounds completely broken. Are you Heidi? Linnea bursts into tears. She covers her face with her hands. She slides down the cabinets and sits on the kitchen floor. She just sobs. Huge racking gasps. Micah looks like he has been shot. He looks back out at me. Dawson, he yells. His voice cracks. Is she Heidi? I stand up. My legs are shaking. Yes, I say. My voice is a whisper. Yes, Micah. She is Heidi. Micah runs his hands through his hair. He kicks a kitchen chair. It crashes against the wall. Everyone in the living room is completely silent. Raoul is staring at his shoes. Brent looks like he wants to melt into the floor. So you too, Micah says. He points at me. He points at Linnea on the floor. You two hooked up, and you just did not tell me. For 6 months. You ate in my house. You helped us move. You sat at dinner with my mother. And you lied to my face. I walk toward the kitchen. Micah, please, I say. Let me explain. Do not take another step toward me, Micah shouts. He puts his hand up. Linnea is weeping loudly now. Micah, I am so sorry, she cries. I was so scared. I changed my name because of my dad. I was running away from debt. I did not want you to know how messed up I was. Micah stares down at her. And Dawson? He asks. Why did you hide Dawson? She looks at the floor. Because I was ashamed, she whispers. Because it was a mistake. Because I love you and I did not want to lose you. Micah shakes his head. He looks at me. Get out, he says. His voice is totally hollow. Micah, I say. Get out, Dawson, he yells. I turn around. I grab my coat off the back of the couch. Brent looks at me with absolute horror. I walk out the front door. I walk down the freezing concrete stairs. I get into my rattling Subaru. I sit in the dark for an hour. My breath clouds in the freezing air. I ruined everything. I ruined my best friendship. I ruined his relationship. I drive back to my apartment. I sit on my couch in the dark. The weeks pass. Christmas comes and goes. It is miserable. I eat canned soup and watch terrible television. I do not hear from Micah. I do not hear from Linnea. I assume they broke up. I assume Micah hates me forever. I finish my semester. I get a part-time job at a coffee shop just to get out of my apartment. It is late January. I am wiping down a table with a damp rag. The bell above the door rings. I look up. Micah is standing there. He looks tired. He is wearing his heavy winter coat. He walks over to the table. He pulls out a chair and sits down. I just stand there holding the dirty rag. "Hi," I say. "Hey," he says. He looks at the table. "Can I get you a coffee?" I ask. "No," he says. "I just came to talk." I sit down opposite him. My heart is beating fast. "How are you?" I ask. "I have been better," he says. He sighs heavily. He rubs his face with both hands. "Linnea and I are still together," he says. I blink in surprise. "Really?" I ask. "Yeah," he says. "It was a rough month. We fought a lot. We almost broke up twice. But she showed me all the paperwork, the bankruptcy, the restraining order against her dad. She laid everything out. She was terrified, Dawson. She was just a terrified kid trying to start over." He looks up at me. His eyes are red. "I understand why she hid her past," he says. "She was ashamed. But I still do not understand why you hid it. You are my best friend, man. You watched me fall in love with her. You watched me plan a life with her. And you sat there holding this massive secret. Why?" I look down at my hands. They are red and dry from washing dishes. "Because I was a coward, Micah," I say. My voice is quiet. "When I recognized her at the party, I panicked. I should have pulled you aside immediately. But she begged me not to, and then a week passed, and then 2 weeks, and suddenly it was too late. Every day that went by made the lie bigger. I convinced myself I was protecting you. But really, I was just protecting myself. I did not want to deal with the fallout. I am so incredibly sorry, man. I miss you." Micah stares at me for a long time. The espresso machine hisses loudly in the background. Someone drops a mug and it shatters. We both flinch. "It takes a lot of energy to stay mad," he says. "I am tired of being mad." He leans back in his chair. "She is different now, Dawson. She is getting therapy. She is trying to be honest. We are trying to fix it." I nod. "I am glad, Micah. I really am. She loves you a lot." He taps his fingers on the table. "I am moving out of the city," he says. I stare at him. "What?" I ask. "My company offered me a regional manager spot in Virginia," he says. "We are taking it. Fresh start for both of us. Away from Philly. Away from all the ghosts." He looks out the window at the gray street. We leave on Tuesday. I feel a massive lump form in my throat. I realize what he is saying. He is forgiving me. But he is also saying goodbye. The friendship is not fixed. It is just over. "Wow," I say. My voice is thick. "Virginia. That is great, man. Congratulations." "Thanks," he says. He stands up. He buttons his heavy coat. "I just wanted to tell you in person," he says. "Did not want to just disappear." "You are a good guy, Dawson," he says. "You just made a really stupid choice." I stand up too. "I know," I say. I put my hand out. He looks at it for a second. Then he reaches out and shakes it. His grip is firm. "Take care of yourself, Dawson," he says. "Take care of her, Micah," I say. He nods once. He turns around and walks out of the coffee shop. The little bell rings. I watch him walk down the sidewalk until he turns the corner. I am totally alone in the middle of the cafe. I pick up the damp rag. I go back to wiping the table. It is just a stupid wooden table, but I scrub it until my knuckles ache. The past is a heavy thing to carry. Sometimes you just have to put it down. The rag goes into the plastic bucket. I have a shift to finish. Yeah.